Novocaine is an action movie. That's pretty obvious if you've seen the trailer or heard anything about it. It's not exactly, let's say, highbrow, but I do have some thoughts on it anyway. First of all, the acting was pretty spectacular. I mean, it's not like revolutionary acting like the best you've ever seen, but it was more than just good. It was convincing and, enjoyable to watch. Like I said, not really anything revolutionary. Not too much to comment on there. I mean, it's just good. In addition to that, I think the casting was overall pretty well done. With Jack Quaid as the main character. I haven't seen The Boys, but he did a great job in this, and the two friends I went with said that he was great in The Boys as well, and basically just played the character he played in that here. Obviously, I can't vouch for that, but it really worked. His character did for this movie, and while there was clearly some things cut out of the script. Overall, I found it, pretty enjoyable. Um, the CEO of Sex himself, Jacob, I'm going to say Battalion. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I probably am. But Jacob Battalion as Roscoe was just amazing. The CEO of Sex, like I said, what can I say? Um, he's there and he's funny as always, and I don't know, it just worked. It just kind of worked. That's kind of how this movie was. It wasn't, you know, amazing. It wasn't shockingly good, but it worked. I went out on a Saturday night with my friends just because we wanted to go to the movies to watch a movie. And this really, really worked for that. I wouldn't want to watch it alone, but with friends, it's really fun. The humor, I think, really works in its favor. Normally, when I go to the movies with friends, I laugh at the movie. This time I was laughing with it. I found it, surprisingly funny. I didn't expect it to be funny at all. But it really embraced the concept and embraced what it was as a movie, and just really rolled with that, both with the comedy and with the serious notes. And of course, the gore. I guess I'll talk about the gore. I mean, it just looks real. We're at a point with technology that the gore just plain looks real, which um, I had to look away a few times. It was so intense at points. But I want to say more about the effects, but we're at a point with technology and CGI and everything, and I don't know what was CGI and what was practical. I mean, it all looked so realistic, I couldn't tell. But that's just my point. I can't tell. There's not much to comment on because it just looks real. You could just easily buy it. There's no suspension of disbelief needed, really. Um, but of course, there is some suspension of disbelief needed for some of the set pieces and some of the action and things like that. Like this random bank teller can just suddenly fight pretty decently. I mean, he's no Batman, but the guy can just fight, and he was shown to be a pretty. Well, basically a loser. I don't like to throw around that term, but that's what the film portrays him as, and like he sort of becomes a badass throughout the duration of the movie. There were definitely some very unrealistic elements, let's say, with I don't know, with just how comically evil, basically, comically in both senses of the word, the main villain was. Like, just absolutely no remorse. He's just cackling, and I won't spoil it, but the guy's just a douche, kind of for no reason. It's funny though that he is. It's just kind of unrealistic in that respect that he's just so bad. And like I said, some of the set pieces and situations are just so unrealistic that you just kind of accept it because you're just along for the ride. Um, which honestly is not what I expected for this movie. Well, as much as I expect for any action movie, which is to say some. But it really worked in the film's favor. Like I said, I didn't expect it to be a comedy at all, but it kind of was. That was almost half the effect, and you could even put that as uh, a a secondary genre for it after action is comedy. Actually, that's what Wikipedia says here. Action comedy film. I had no idea. I don't know other than Jack Quaid and Jacob Battalion. I didn't know any of the cast, but I thought they did an excellent job. I don't know the director. I don't know how this movie came to be. I don't know anything about the history of it. You'll have to watch a retrospective for that. I'm just giving my honest opinion of a movie that I watched with friends. What else can I say? I really think you should go watch it. If you're watching a review, I think it's the sort of thing that you'd be interested in. It's very gory. It's very funny, and at some points I like actually laughed out loud. And it's very fun with friends. Highly recommend you go with at least one friend, preferably two or more, because it is one of those movies that just really works with it. And if you don't go see it in theaters, I still think on your big flat screen TV, plasma or whatever you have. I don't know if that's old now. OLED. I'm old. But you can watch it at home too. Just darken the room, get some popcorn, and watch it with your friends. It's a great movie for that if you just are hanging out and want something to watch. You all like gory movies, gory action movies. It's great for that. And overall, I versus things like with my last video with the Fantastic Four, where I very much went against the grain with the reviewers on that, where they very much did not like that movie. I'm going to have to agree with them on this one. In front of me, I'm seeing a 2.5 out of 4 for AP News, which is one of the weirdest rating scales I've seen in my life. Why would you do out of 4? I thought it was out of 5. But a 2.5 out of 4, I think, is a positive review. I mean, yeah, it's positive. That's more than half. So I guess I agree with that. It's an 82% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is about what one of my two friends that I went with gave it, which I disagree with. I would say it's a little bit lower. And I'm going to give it what IMDb has it rated, which is a 7 out of 10. I agree with that rating. My two friends who have similar taste to me, a little bit darker, grittier taste than me, not in the noir sense, but in the boys sense, we'll go with that. One of them gave it an 8, one of them gave it a 6, and I gave it a 7. So that's basically all I had to say. It's a simple movie. There's not a lot to talk about it. It's a simple movie that I don't want to spoil, so there's not a whole lot more I can go into. But if it sounds like it's up your alley, by all means go watch it. It probably is. You will probably enjoy yourself, even if you didn't as much as I did. That's about it, and I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching. Skull.